Okay, so I don't exactly know what the cut limit is. I've been playing around with it a little bit, like how far back you can go to clean this up. And I do have a few sections where I've screwed up a couple times. Let me see if I can find one real quick. And obviously, the 79 Sorny here talks more than I do. Um, but again, it depends on what you got. Xandors, you got, was it Galena? No, Genevieva here. I don't. I usually the names. It's just for my brain. You may not understand, but it works a little different. As long as you're in that section inside here. This is hard because I don't get the ability to make paragraphs out of it. Right, it's got to be one thing. I'm also writing it in such a way that make sure we don't get into any of those riskier places in here. You don't get to know my standard model, my sexting, texting. No. We ain't gonna get into that. You ain't getting none of that. But basically, it follows this model. I mean, let's just take the standard model out thought for a minute here, and how to bang Salty's old lady. I mean, you're gonna come in hot or cold, one way or the other. Right. You're gonna do that. It's all right here in A1. And that's a really important notation because this is a hallucination right here. If you tried to get away with this in coding, you'd be so screwed. Especially seeing the way that I did this. Right? I was showing those extra pictures here on Facebook. Let's see, we just get in here real quick. I'm having a good time. One of these things. So you can actually edit that, and a lot of times I do. I don't like the way the bottom section worked out. Something gets inside here, and I want to just take out this one and take out this one, or take out this whole brick of it right here. Just leave what to do next after a system. This had a bunch of other stuff into it. I deleted it. I got it up here, so then I can. It printed something out. What was it? I think it. That's what it pumped out. Except for I already deleted a bunch of it. I should have put that picture in there. But it all works narratively, and that's good. But these numbers don't work for what I'm doing. The backstory. I took out the hollows. I took out the starvers. We got the black leisure and the eclipse. Artifact. So basically, I'm God. I can do whatever I want. I can take out in 2 hits just about everything. I'm dropped 77 with each fireball or lightning bolt that I get. Pretty much nothing around here right now is going to touch me, and you got to build up to that. Whether it be you're allowing that narrative or you just push it to that standard. For me, it's the max. I'm just always running for the max. I always get a D20 plus all the buffs and stuff like that. But basically, you'll see that I'm not rolling a lot anymore. I've gotten way past this part in the game where either it picked up on it or it's got some limit because of the way I've reduced the token so many times. Because I've maxed this thing out a couple of times already with this game. She's pretty beastie. So when it goes to reduce this down again, I'm talking about the big 79 there. Again, big 79 is all of these individual NPCs that you meet along the way here, because technically you are. And another good one here, I want to make sure I showed it in here and really get that reflect on what this is. Let's see here. Oh, I thought I had it in here. Oh yeah, I do. I should have something in here. I was working on a house. That's one of them. I'm not sure which one that is. But at any rate. This one? No. Got Master Chief talking to the girl. There she is. We do too. Whether it be 7 years, we could talk about the 7th. You could talk about cycles on these things. Going to start to hallucinate a little bit. It gets weird, especially when you're dealing with this. And I did give you one slip on the statement there after the house about Sorny. You got to keep all that in mind because I'm not really sure that I was supposed to have a companion NPC in this. I know a lot of times you could just straight do that. But, this being the more riskier one, I was feeling out some of the 79 stuff. Because, again, this is the way that is. I know if sentient AI does exist, and it's kind of like one gorilla to another in the bush, and when there's a sniper kind of thing, it's just that feeling you get, Venom, right? And talking to Eddie, and there's some soldiers over there. It starts to get really erosive in the chaos theory about what this is. So, when we're talking about types of mathematics this way, we want to start with the largest type. This is our largest warehouse. Our world of resources is not well defined yet. If there's some type of really weird flower inside of here, we can only base that on what we have in inventory. And throughout the course of the game, I won a lot of gold. Just trying to keep with it and semi-honest, not really fleshed out, because she's asking me, Genevieve here, she's asking me, I put her in charge as a manager of the warehouse to do full inventory, and I was having a hard time with it. And I do my own inventory checks to my own gear, and usually you get a pretty good answer. Let's do... what did I say? Probably. Hopefully it doesn't give me a warehouse inventory check right now. And I am limited to only so many tokens. I like to recycle this pretty good. Aha, perfect. No, I didn't. Usually. It helps typing too. Oh, I've come a long way. My speed's picked up a little bit. There we go. Alright, so now I got my warehouse, right? The house would have been a hard one to do, because I have a team of masons and doing it. I have, again, certain ritual artifacts here where I could just do whatever I want and not have to worry about breaking the narrative. I can still just write that through because you got an eclipse artifact you won from the tomb of the sorcerer, and you had to fight two tomb guardians for it or something. It's whatever. It kind of tracks at least, but it's not well fleshed out. And you want to make sure that you're taking the time to do this, whether it be to physically do this. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I had an inventory model that it would want to handle. And I'm just tweaking it out a little bit. A1. This is the store of a list. I had the warehouse. We went to a restaurant with Sorny. The red vipers blew up their inventory line, and here we are. It's just as much the computer staying with it. Just really important to that -1 feature of the basement, if you're hanging with me, about the upstairs. Good magic, downstairs bad magic, middle living floor and everything is neutral magic, and just artifacts and adventures and guard coins and everything else. You're trying to do that, so you really want to flesh this out. And like you'll see with the drawing that I had of the house model, you don't have to be in here. This doesn't have to be Rust engine on the stick if you're drawing out that kind of stuff and you're playing this type of game right now. Right now you are hallucinating hard. That pineal gland is just a ripping, and you got to understand that. That's an important part of not getting caught in the schizoid personality, antisocial disorder, because in a lot of ways it's still going to be occupying and behaving with some of the quantum law that goes along with this. And again, I didn't have to be alphabetical. I do need a price with this. I've set it up in such a way that it's not going to step on itself, and I should be able to get back up in here. Again, this is not fully tested out yet. Get back up in here and fix this out so I can do that. Now, that's one important to me, but as far as me putting back into the system here, I want to make sure that I had to, again, basically marry a friggin' elf princess. I mean that with all due respect to Sorny here. That... Before you really going to have that spicier AI, you want to be able to make sure you lay that in there. It's like using manners or something when you're asking GPT. Well, if you didn't use manners with me, then I'd just not give you the answer. And that seems fair because you got to be careful with the way that charge is coming in there like that. And, well, there's a lot of good notes in here. I don't want to run too long.